Adam, it's always been a big question because it's just like someone gets a degree in marketing and they're like, should I get an MBA? I'm like, well, you went for 4 years, now you got 2 years. So now the other question is, people always ask me, should I get my master's or PhD in mechanical engineering? And it's a big question. So I'm going to throw that out to you. What is your thoughts on that?
Okay, so short answer is no, don't do that. And here's why. If you've done a 4-year engineering degree, and that is the requirement to get an engineering license, why the hell are you doing a master's degree in engineering afterwards, right? Now, my old project management professor would say that is a complete misallocation of time and money, right? What's the ROI on a master's degree?
But it all depends on what you're doing it for, right? I mean, if you want to be an academic, that's one thing, but so
yeah.
what
So as with all things in life, it's not an absolute, right? So if you're an engineer, just for anyone out there, if you want to be an engineer, you need to get a 4-year degree, do 4 years under a professional engineer and pass your license exam. You're a PE, you're a professional engineer. You are a made person at that time, right? Now, what are the arguments for getting a master's degree? One, if you're an immigrant to America or Canada or UK and you've come and they're playing games with what they recognize your bachelor's degree as, sometimes it pays you to do that master's degree to get a local qualification. Get that completely, right? That's legit. If you want to be an academic, yes. If you want to be an academic, you do need a master's degree and a PhD because that's just the benchmark. If you want to get in that disco, that's the ticket you have to buy.
And then right now too, especially with the incoming recession, people are like, oh, what do I do? And it's always the whole thing, go back to school.
Yeah. Now, what matters in life, and they never tell you at university, is how good you are at something, not how many qualifications you have after your name. If you're a PE and you're just awesome at your job, believe me, you will never be unemployed. Now, look, just full disclosure, I have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree and I have a master's degree. So when I was thinking about doing a master's, because you remember, I'm old. Back in the day, that was the thing that everyone thought was a good idea. If I was doing it now, I wouldn't do it. So I thought to myself, I'll get an MBA. No engineer needs an MBA, and that's going to go and work at Goldman Sachs or McKinsey, right? So luckily for me, I had a tutor, and she said to me, why are you getting an MBA? It's a waste of time. You're not going to go and work in banking. Do an MSc in project management. And here's why. And I did this. I did an MSc in project management because I was moving into management at work, and I was doing less and less engineering, and I do hardly any now. And it gave me skills, and it was about 70% an MBA anyway. So I was getting management skills, I was getting project management skills, and all those skills were completely transferable to everything I might do going forward. So I added a skill set to my skill stack, right? Nobody cared if I had a master's degree, but I got a master's degree in project management, which meant I had a skill set that was in addition to my engineering skill set. So it helped me.
So you just said something, that's very important. And you said basically, I learned a skill set, right?
Yeah.
So basically about management, projects, understanding financials, right? So where do you think that we lack sometimes with engineering or architecture degrees, basically that, when you were an undergrad, or maybe if you have the master's, like do you feel like that they teach you and they're teaching you enough, or is this on the job training, or should that be more of a component of salespersonship or management inside degrees?
Don't get me going about how horrible engineering degrees are. Personally, I think the engineering degrees that people go through, and I paid for my daughter to go through a mechanical engineering degree, and I'm still angry about it 8 years later. I'm so angry about it. But the point is this. Did my daughter get a great education in the fundamentals? Yes. But she got no real applied engineering tutorial. She didn't learn any business skills, marketing skills, how to sell herself or the business she was entering in. She came out pretty useless, and I love her to death. But, and not aware of when her and her friends graduated, they weren't aware of what they didn't know or what they weren't prepared for. So when they go into their first round of interviews and people are saying, I know you think you're going to earn 80 grand a year, but we're going to pay you 50. It was very confusing for them, right? The reality check, the getting punched in the face by our reality was painful.
Well, I tell people all the time, my students, I talk to them and I basically say, okay, so now is the time to learn how to fail. Now is the time to learn basically how to talk to people. Now is the time to basically network, not when you go out for a job. Because if you go out for the job and you're put on a piece of paper that you're worth 85 or 100 grand, you better walk out of here with everything. But so in my classes, they They stand up, they talk, they become confident. I'm like, they get,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't do this right. Oh, get better. So we have to have, in my opinion, mentors, professionals, professors. Like, it has to be like old school. Like, you literally are preparing them, for a battle.
Yes.
And they have to be battle tested. And I call it baptized by fire. And we're old school. We're old. I barely have more. You have no hair. We've got to be better at when we teach them to get them prepared for what is really out there.
You also said something really important there. It's about like being ready, right? So
Yeah.
a mistake a lot of junior engineers make is they get overhired. So they apply for a job to be a senior engineer before they're a senior engineer. So the problem with that is twofold. One, you're not really ready, and they're paying you to be ready, and then they're going to put you on a job and expect you to do it, and you're going to half-ass it. And at some point, it's going to end horribly for the person who hired you and you. So you don't want to over-hire, you want to under-hire in the first part of your career. So you've always accumulating the knowledge, you're always good. And just to close out on me, I did a master's degree in project management. I graduated top of my year. My mum cried. It was awesome. Do you know who cared about that? Absolutely nobody has ever asked me about that once.
Nope.
Now, let's talk about platforming. The only thing I get asked about on my resume is I did a year and a bit working in New York on JFK for Arup in New York, like a prestigious firm. That is the only question I ever get asked. Oh, what was it like to work for Arup in New York? Right. So Arup platformed me. I didn't realize at the time, but whilst I enjoyed working at Arup and it was great and they paid me great, they also platformed me. Right. I was on their platform. I got fame by association. And that's what graduating from, say, Harvard is. It's fame by association. They platform you, right? So there is.
I do have a question, though. I do have a question. So when you were in college and you did your undergrad master, I never asked you this before. Were you ever part of a club? Were you part of clubs? You weren't. Why not?
I never want to join a club that might let me in, right? Because it's not good enough. So we don't do like the Greek life in the UK. There's no like frats or sororities. That is,
or student chapters like we're doing. No,
do any of that.
Are they doing them now or not then?
No, we're very cynical, nasty people. We don't get involved in that shit. Generally. Personally, I don't. I mean, also with an engineering degree or any degree that's technical, it's so goddamn hard. You ain't got time to go and hang out in the student bar and get drunk, right? So that, for me, that was what it is. I mean, believe me, I struggled through. It was a grind for me to graduate my bachelor's and my master's. I could not get, when it was done, I was so relieved. It was almost so emotional I nearly cried. I could not finish it quick enough. You know what I mean? The thought of doing a PhD, never. I could not do that. So that's where it is for me. But the platforming is something I've really sort of become aware of now as I've got older. So when I'm interviewing for people to go into ASG, my question to them is, you want to be a director or a leader in this business? What's your platform? How many papers have you published? How many followers do you have on LinkedIn? Because we're going to platform you. So you've got to be worthy to be platformed with us, right? It's like, if you want to work for Arup at a senior level, you've got to be worthy of that accolade, right? And it is an accolade. And you've got to survive it when you get there, right? So going back to the question, should you do a master's? If you got a degree in engineering, say mechanical engineering, you should not do a master's in mechanical engineering, in my opinion, unless you're like someone who's emigrated down, you need to get that credential or you're going to be academic. Should you do a master's generally? Yes, if you're adding a different skill set that adds to the sum total of who you are. So if you're an engineer and you do a master's in project management, then you've got a skill stack going on there, right? You've got the fundamental engineering degree and you've got that other qualification that gives you another skill set. That makes you more awesome than you were before you started. So that's worth it, in my opinion. So this is all obviously heavily my opinion and my experience, but when I interview and hire people, I am not interested in what they say they can do or how many degrees they got. I'm interested in what they have done and achieved. That is it. I
always tell people you can teach technical, you basically can't teach passion. No. And I would take a passionate person over just a pure technical any day of the week, because technical was, you sit in the corner before. Now, passion and communication is everything in this industry. And
correct.
You're a good communicator.
I try to be.